Yeah, you know, after watching the film and talking to some of the players, it's a disappointing game. When you think about the one-score games that we've been in this year, I think we've had seven of them. It's always disappointing to come out on this side. I thought overall, I thought this was the best performance from our offense that we've had all season. The way that those guys were able to run the ball, there were some protection issues, but I would say for the most part, it was pretty good. And we're able to throw the ball. That's always a good formula to be balanced like that in a game. Defensively, we had a few drives there that were good drives. Obviously, if you take away that last drive, I think it was like 17, 18 plays. We're all feeling a little bit better about the game. Definitely things to build on. I would say those guys played into the last seconds, as you guys saw, and we still had an opportunity at the end of the game. Special teams wise, well, got to make some of those kicks. Kind of put Joey. Joey hit the ball well pregame. Obviously, at the end of the game, whether it's a hail mary or a field goal, I mean, to me, the odds are pretty much the same. Especially when the wind wasn't really a big factor in the game. Coming up on the bye week is going to be a huge week for us. A much needed bye week, not only physically for the players, but also mentally, being able to hit the reset button and come back and put some good games together and continue to build for the future. And that has to be our goal.
And we'll start with the first question from Mike Reese.
Jerod, I wanted to ask you on the Colts' final drive. We talked a little bit about the possible challenge on that 3rd and 10 play, and maybe not having a clear view of it. I just want to get your thoughts on what your thoughts are on maybe even just throwing that anyway in that situation, just given the game situation. Like, what is your philosophy on that particular
Yeah,
situation?
that's a great question. I would say timeouts are definitely vital in those positions. We lost a challenge like that last week. We lost one in the 49ers, and I would say this week his hands, at least the one clip that I saw real quick. I mean, it was just a tough. It was tough. It was tough for me as far as like, did he catch it? Did he not catch it? I understand your question though, as far as like momentum and things like that. But at that point in time, didn't feel like we had a good enough view.
Next question, Doug Kyde.
Gerard, on the 2 point
Okay.
conversion, it looked like Christian Barmore might have been held, might have been penalized, or he possibly could have had a flag thrown against the offensive lineman on that play. Curious to see or curious to hear what you thought of that play after the film.
Look, they didn't call it. I thought he got held. I watched the film. I mean, it's pretty clear to me, but it wasn't called, and so there's no excuses from me on that.
And one other quick question: you just said that if you take out the final drive, then obviously you guys are feeling a lot better about the game. There's been a few instances this season where you've said like if you take out a few big runs or if you take out a
That's right.
drive, I'm just curious what message that sends to players or the team that if you take out the worst thing that happens, that you guys are going to feel better after the game.
Yeah, when I talk to the team, I tell them all the time. I don't have a crystal ball on what play is going to be important. But you're exactly right. Those are that's what the NFL is. The NFL is comes down to a few plays, and that's really my message when I say it. Like it comes down to a few plays. So you look at it from one way, if we would have done this, and then you look at it the other way, we didn't get it done, and so that's kind of why we're here now. We've had seven one-score games, and I think we're 2-5 in those games, and we just got to be better. And again, that's what the NFL is.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Next question, Sophie Weller.
Hi, Gerard.
Morning,
I
Sophie.
was just curious about Christian Ellis. Last season, when he came in, he was used primarily on special teams, but it really feels like this season you're utilizing him a lot more on defense. And then to see him kind of get that interception yesterday, just what you've seen from him and how he's grown to become one of like these key defensive players for you.
Yeah, part of that, is due to injury, and I would say primarily he was here to help us on special teams, but has always been very dialed in the defensive meetings, and now he's playing a lot of football for us and doing a pretty good job. Look, we always talk about that next man up mentality, and he has embraced that, and he's out there making plays for us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next question, Dakota Randall.
Morning, Gerard.
Morning.
At the beginning of the year, you said a successful season would be being competitive each week and getting better as the season progresses. You've been competitive in a lot of these games, but as you enter the bye week, what things can you point to that the team got better at over the first 13 weeks?
Yeah, first of all, I would just say we have a very resilient team. We've been in games where most people would just quit. Our guys, they have great mental toughness, and they continue to play good football. What I would say is just overall, our consistency just needs to improve. You look at the beginning part of the year, we're a good cover team, special teams wise, and now, yesterday obviously we had a good game there, but our return game has stepped up, and it's really just about putting everything together that we've done at points in the season to be a good football team, and we just have to continue to do that.
We'll try to get to everyone's questions here. The next question, Chris Ryan.
Hey, Jerod. As you
Hey,
mentioned
Chris.
earlier, you just mentioned a lot of these games, 7 games in which you've been within a score, kind of getting lost in the margins. From a coaching standpoint, how do you get the guys to a point where there is more consistency, there is more attention to detail, and you are able to win the margins in games where you outgain the opponent like yesterday?
Yeah, look, it starts in practice, and it starts with just how you just said the details. We just have to be on point every snap, and hopefully after this bye week, the guys come back refreshed and ready to go and try to put some games together.
Thank you.
Next question, Mark Daniels.
Hey, Gerard. Good morning. With such a young team, how hard is it to teach some of these teams or as a team to learn how to win? Obviously you guys have lost some close games, but how tough is it the lessons that I'm saying is you've been on a lot of teams that have won a lot of games. How hard is it to sort of teach this? And how important is it through these final 4 games to try to hone in, whatever that lesson is?
Yeah, it's very tough, and I think once you tip over that first domino of going out there playing well and being able to win back-to-back games, that's when you really start to say, all right, we're doing a good job. And look, that's my job. That's my job is to get these guys ready to go, and obviously winning cures all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next question, Dan Roach.
Morning, Gerard.
Morning, Dan.
Just along those lines of what Mark was asking, you have a pretty good chunk of time for the players off here. What would you like them to do in that period of time, reflect on, and then what would you like to see from your team for the next 4 weeks after that coming out of the break?
To me, they should reflect on what they've done to this point and what they can do more going forward. And then that's from an individual standpoint. I would also say from a collective standpoint, what more can I want them to think about? What more can I do to help this team win games? And that's also for the coaches as well, and definitely for myself. Like reflecting on how do we get this team winning on a consistent basis. And to me, that cures all.
And how will you spend your time? Do you need a quick mental break? What do you think you need?
No, look, I'll take a quick break, but look, there are definitely a lot of things that will happen here over the next few weeks, and still focusing on the season, obviously, but you also have to look out the front windshield of things that are going to come up on us fast, and those are some of the decisions or conversations that I'll have during the week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next question, Nick Giovanni.
Morning, Coach. Just kind of following up along the bye week theme there. Just how if any way did yesterday's outcome impact just how you're approaching the bye week there in terms of victory Mondays and just how you're going about that, and then what in terms of the evaluation process that you've been talking about, what is the mindset for the Final Four?
Yeah, to me, some of those victory Mondays early on were just a case of, our bye week being so far out. And, some of the guys needed to rest their mind, rest their body. And so it was very difficult doing that. The second part of your question was what again? Sorry.
Just in terms of the evaluation process that you've been talking about going through, just how
Yeah,
mindset.
we'll do our self scout stuff. See what we're doing schematically, and then we'll also see, we'll get our player evals in as well. Up until this point, and then going into the last 4 games, it's just about going out there playing complimentary football and winning.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
Next question, Taylor Kiles.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
I had a question about a couple of things. One, the first touchdown that Anthony Richardson threw, it looked like there was like a 4-by-1 look. They kind of got to the line fast. Was that a miscommunication or something maybe they hadn't shown before? And also, it looked like that QB sweep they were kind of hitting pretty consistently. I was wondering what your thoughts were on that play.
Yeah, they've shown it before, and really, we just got to go out there and make the play. Like those loaded formations, every team does things like that. Obviously, when you have a quarterback that can also run, he's always a threat. And I would say, I think you hit on the head again. Like the quarterback design runs were definitely a problem. And we just have to get that fixed. Anytime it's a quarterback that can run, he just adds another piece of the puzzle. And we'll see that here coming up soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Next question, Mike Giardi.
Morning, Jerod. A
Morning, Mike.
couple quick ones for you. On the touchdown to Pierce, the final touchdown there, he crosses Pepper's face. Jabril gives him like a slight forearm. Do you want to see him get a little bit more of a piece of him to slow him down on the crosser?
I mean, look, that's always part of our mentality is to chip these receivers. And look, when it's all said and done, he scored a touchdown, and we just all have to be better. I talk about the marriage of rush and coverage as well. So it's not just one individual; it's us as an entire unit.
And then to Taylor's point about the 4x1, they were going fast. It seemed like you guys weren't set. Is that another issue where communication got challenged?
Look, anytime an offense goes to the ball fast, you have to be ready for some type of perimeter play, and we just had to have more of a sense of urgency on that play to get lined up and go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll have time for 2 more questions here. Dakota Randall, followed by Phil Perry.
Right, yeah. Couple quick questions. Just wondering, have you seen enough from Layden Robinson to tentatively pencil him in as the starter left guard moving forward?
Look, I thought Layden went out there and played his best game. It wasn't perfect by far, but definitely took a step forward.
And off of that, with Layden and Mike at the guard spots right now, and you saying you expect Cole Strange to play at some point, is it realistic to say that with a couple more weeks, Cole could start at center after the bye week?
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't want to get into hypotheticals, and I would say he's done a good job for us. So we'll see how Cole presents here the next couple of weeks and see what happens.
And final question from Phil Perry.
Hey, Jerod, I just had a couple questions about 2 drives offensively for you guys. The last drive before the half, where you guys went run, and then looked like a called pass play on 3rd down. And then the drive right after the Christian Gonzalez interception, same sort of thing, run, pass, and you end up punting before their last drive there. Did you feel like, looking back and having watched the film, do you feel like you guys were maybe too conservative in those situations?
Yeah. To me, if we make the kick, we're not even having this conversation. And then I would also say, secondly, just offensively, look, we got 2 turnovers defensively. We talk about playing complementary football. We went 3 and out on those 2 drives. So that's definitely a frustrating piece of it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.